So today is the 22nd birthday of Paul Skenes. 22-year-old phenom for the Pirates. And what makes Paul Skenes not only the hottest young pitcher in baseball with a sweet stash.
Isn't his Mustachio on the mound today? Thought I saw him.
Yeah, he's pitching right now, actually. 9 Ks through 5 innings.
Yeah, I thought I saw him. There he is. Yeah, he's on TV as we speak.
Look at it. There he is. Look at that sweet mustache. Number 30, the hope of Pittsburgh. As he celebrates birthday number 22, striking out everyone in sight. He's the man. He's also best known for dating super hot gymnast that the world knows, influencer Livvy Dunne from LSU.
Who we discussed yesterday. The headline was Tiny Bikini on the Beach this Memorial Day weekend.
So, Livvy Dunne, influencer, gymnast, champion in her own sport. If you're Paul Skenes, on top of the world, as the Dice Man would say back in the day.
Oh!
Do you think there's a part of him that's like, man, I wish I was single? Or is it cooler to be with, like, the hot girl of the moment? It's like he's locked up in a relationship while this is all happening.
I mean, she's no slouch.
No, I'm saying, like...
He's equally lucky to be with her.
He's lucky. She's lucky. I'm just saying, if you were the 22-year-old phenom pitcher that is taking the baseball world by storm, the hope of Pittsburgh, is that nice to share that with model and gymnast Livvy Dunne, or do you think this is like, I mean, he would
that's
be
why you see so many times in professional sports, the people that are there when they sign that fat contract or when they get drafted aren't usually the people that are there a few months later. It's just rare. That's why you hear stories of people like Patrick Mahomes who is with his high school sweetheart. It's kind of sweet. It's like, oh, that's special because they were there from the beginning.
There's trust.
These other guys, they sign a contract. They're like, all right, where's my Kardashian?
I think Skenes is a unique example only because his girlfriend is one of the most talked about.
I think it's natural for anybody to sort of speculate, like, oh, damn, I'm in a relationship. Oh, it could have been cool if I was. Just even from a fun, not even creepy perspective. Like, man, can you imagine if I was single right now? Because I'm slaying it professionally.
Yeah, being in a relationship when you're at that level is tricky. But he's in a relationship, like I said, with
as a young man,
with the hottest young girl in the scene
at 22 years old. But yeah, I think he's lucky to even be with her. To be honest, even though he's a stud on the mound. I don't know how much of a stud in real life.
You know, you could argue every relationship. Dan Byer, you and your wife. Danny G, you and your wife. I was Sam with one of his many women.
Oh yeah,
Covino, you and your girl.
Thanks.
Every relationship has someone that's a little luckier than the other person.
I think that's your ego talking.
No, I'm not.
I think you're lucky. You're the lucky one.
I'm just saying.
It's a Seinfeld thing. It comes down to hand. Who's got the upper hand?
Who's got the upper hand?
Yes and no.
Who's got the hand?
But I think it's a little different than that. It's you're right. Like that's, Danny's former show, Clay Travis, outkick the coverage.
Yeah.
Isn't that, that's
the phrase?
Yes.
They outkick their coverage.
I think Clay Travis outkicked his coverage teaming up with Charlie Arnold.
And,
that's what I think.
Yeah. He's hanging out with all the hot Republican girls, Tommy Lahren and all that.
How's he with all the hot Republican chicks?
So every relationship, and you could say it, it even applies to sports. You look at the relationship of Brady and Belichick. What were people always so curious about? Well, who had the upper hand? Who's a little luckier? Oh, he's lucky he had Brady. Well, he's lucky he had Belichick. There's always like that question of
your boy KFC actually mentioned that if you ever viewed, you brought up Seinfeld, Iowa Sam. If you viewed Seinfeld and Larry David like Tom Brady and Belichick, it's clear that Larry David was the key to that success based on the underwhelming reviews for Unfrosted.
Oh, so Larry David wins?
People are saying Larry David wins the same way you think Tom Brady wins. in that situation.
All right,
Does Tom Brady win, though? Because what we've found out now from the roast and different stories after Brady has retired was Belichick lit that fire underneath of him by being a jerk to him in front of his teammates. Had Brady had a coach that kissed his butt, like a lot of coaches would have done, we wouldn't have seen the same Tom Brady.
See?
That's a good point, too. He knew how to press the buttons.
So just an interesting thought as we say, hey, happy birthday, Paul Skenes. Killing it so far in the bigs. 9 strikeouts already today through 5 innings. Every relationship, do you look at it, and it's not a bad thing, but do you look at it as
who's the lucky one?
One person's a little luckier. Like you could say, Livvy Dunne is dating the best young pitcher in the National League who's, on his way to becoming a star. You could say, well,
from
hold
the outside
on.
looking in, you may look at it that way. But if you look at it that way within the relationship, I think you feel, if you feel like, well, she's the lucky one, don't you feel like, well, then I should be doing better?
No. I'm saying they're a unique scenario because you could look at it and say, Livvy Dunne, how lucky of her to be dating this young star in baseball.
It's a
and
good
then
match.
No, but then his buddies are probably like, yo, dude, look at you dating Livvy Dunne, the most talked about collegiate hottie in all sports. So I think they're a pretty even match. If you said Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, he's a multi-Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer, but she's also the most popular woman on planet Earth. So you could argue that Taylor probably has a little bit of the upper hand.
Yes, I would actually 100% agree with that.
She's wearing the pantalones.
J-Lo and Ben, who's got the upper hand?
J-Lo, because she's a spicy Latina. That's why. She wears the pantalones.
But for how long is the
The
question?
rules are the rumors are they're separated right now.
That's
I know.
the rumor, yeah.
I know.
But there's no way he's winning any argument in
So-
You ever-
J-Lo's world.
You guys ever see an attractive woman that was single and then all of a sudden, like a celebrity, and they're like, hey, I'm engaged to maybe a no-name, and you're like, huh. Like, that's where the bar was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
point here, Dan, is I want everyone to go home tonight and tell their wife, man, you're a little luckier than I am. No, I'm kidding. No, don't do that. Don't. Honey, I was talking about it at work today. We're both lucky to have each other, but you're a little luckier.
So Paul Skenes, based on that,
Happy
again,
birthday.
That's going to go over well.
he still in the game right now, still pitching great. He's with Livvy Dunne. Rich is saying that's a pretty even sort of matchup.
I think so.
there. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
Danny G, tonight, let's play it out. Yeah, Brenda, can you pass the mashed potatoes? By the way, you're very little luckier than I am to have me. No, I don't think that'll.
She'll tell me, yeah, you're not the one who pushed baby Koa out.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying the way
Your
you would want
body.
to feel, aside from feeling like the upper hand is equal, right? I don't even know how you say that.
Well, that's the goal. You don't want to. You don't
wanna
want
feel like-
anyone.
If
but
anything, you want to feel like you're the lucky one.
so you
Yeah.
you want to feel like you're the lucky one. Otherwise, you feel like, well, I'm under.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting out of it.
My point is, if you were to stand in front of 100 strangers with your significant other, and not just looks, and then you talk to a room of people for an hour.
By the way, they do that in acting class. I used to be married to a woman who acted. And by the way, Rich used to take these classes too. They would have those assessment things where you'd stand up in front of the class and people would write down what they view you as.
Yeah. Like
Hey, I see you, Danny G. You look like you could be a trash man.
you look like you could be a thug.
And you're like, yeah, thanks.
They're union, aren't they?
Yes.
I'm down.
So
You're like, hey, Iowa Sam, you look like you could be a chemist or something. I don't know. They make those assessments.
So point is, if you went in front of 100 strangers, talk to a room of people with your spouse or significant other, and then ask those 100 people, who's luckier to have the other?
Assess us.
You're hoping that it's close to half, but imagine it was like 95-5.
Oh, yeah. That's a reality check for sure.